Speculation on the original grammatical function of grammar and context of Heidegger's Heraclitus lectures GA 55, and Richard Capobianco is bringing out the line about um, whatever is lives insofar as it is. So, I mean, we could easily see the notion of that something lives, they live, or whatever, in a horror movie sense. But a toaster, a toast pops out, the electricity is flowing through it, the toast, it lives. We could see lives transferred and expanded, widening of its meaning into other things. And we could also see, say we were Japanese, we could think of the sort of a feng shui, or the Marie Kondoing of stones. We could think of a stone formation, it lives, or even the arrangement of, I've witnessed this before actually, of people who are raised in Japan, just arranging a bookshelf, for instance. There could be something recognizable in the manner of doing that, which shows that there's a certain life in the books as they're arranged on the bookshelf, in stones and so on. We could expand the meaning of the word lives, and the farthest we would expand it would be to include all beings. And now let's get to the main point, is that let's think this in the light of the ontological difference, so that Heidegger insists that there's a difference between all of these, that which is and therefore lives in some sense, all of the beings, which each in some way are as themselves in a way. None of them could be solipsism. It's the word ipse means I. So solipsism is what it says is there's none of these are only these beings are only the soul ipsis mosity bearers, or the most being, as Nietzsche uses the term. But Heidegger says each of these beings has taken separately, and then looking at this in this lecture, looking at Heraclitus, or the Tapanta, or all the beings as against hen, or the one. Each of these beings is, but then also there's there's two other questions. One is always this question of, as Capablanco was bringing out of this, are we talking here of fusis, which is how things come forward of their own? Are we talking here about aletheia, how they've come forward to this for our memory, for what's brought forward as coming to pass, that we could put into our memory as aletheia, or the unforgotten, most commonly translated as unconcealed, because lethe meaning being one of the rivers in Hades, being the one that takes away the meaning of the symbols, as it were, and leaves one in a state of either oblivion would be the straightforward way to say it, but and then when we're talking about things being unconcealed, we think somehow of the darkness of oblivion, I suppose, and then they're coming to light, especially in the eidos. The eidos would be another way of talking about the being of beings. But we also have this sense of each being as sharing, as each one being its own I, or its own ipse, but also somehow of sharing the same ground, and then inclusive of human beings, where the distinction here would be of which would be the same, which would be included in the philosophic zombie problem, and the English interpretation of Descartes, which is inherited by people like Daniel Dennett, as against, for instance, Husserl's interpretation of Descartes.